Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I see people here already, and I really appreciate that. Thanks for being here on May the 23rd of 2026. And it's crazy to think that it was 14 years ago today, 14, that I actually made my first YouTube video. So I have been here 14 years, hard to believe, and still making videos more than ever. So still having a good time, still having a lot of fun, still enjoying meeting a lot of people and meeting new friends, saying hi to old friends all the time, having a real good time. So I want to thank everybody for supporting me and everybody who's here and some new people that I've gotten, in addition to old people that I've had. I'd like to know how long some people have been here. It would be nice to know that. Hello, James Farley. Thank you very much. Hello, Mike. Hello, Yorkie Girl. Thank you very much. Yeah, hi, Gary. Time goes faster and faster. You're not kidding. Will you be doing YouTube when you're 84? It's funny, though. We're kind of joking around about it, I guess. But, the thing is, I sometimes wonder because I look at some people, look at Paul. He's going to be 84 soon, and he looks like he could do a YouTube channel. So it depends how well your health holds up. It depends how you feel, how you look, the whole thing. I see plenty of people. Sometimes I see people that are in their 90s, and I think, gee, that person looks like they could handle themselves behind a camera on YouTube. So who knows? We don't know. Boy, if I could predict the future, I would definitely want to get 6 winning lottery numbers. I'll tell you that. Okay, let's see. What Beatles release was out 14 years ago? I believe the Kisses on the Bottom album by Paul, maybe, right? Kisses on the Bottom, Ringo 2012. There you go. Ringo 2012, Kisses on the Bottom, Paul McCartney. Hello, George. Good to see you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, some people have said that I'm glad. There's a lot of my friends I know they've said if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't have started a channel. I know Matthew Street is always thanking me for that. So, I appreciate it, I mean, I started making videos and starting a YouTube channel because there were other people I saw that influenced me to make a channel. But those people, most of them that I was influenced by, aren't here anymore making videos. Hope they're still alive. I'm just saying they're not on YouTube anymore. So, okay. Hello, Andrea. 7 or 8 years, huh? Wow. Thank you. I appreciate it. What I saw. Well, I missed Ramoga. Here we go. Sorry, Ramoga. Somehow I missed this comment. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. You say I've only been here for the past 2 years, but I'm hooked. You're the best. Thank you. And for that, let's give the old Ramoga salute, a combination of a salute. This is like my anniversary cheer and also a Ramoga salute. All righty. Hello, Day Tripper. What's going on? Gary found my channel in 2015. Wow, it's 11 years if I can add. Thanks, James. 9 years for another James. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope we're going to talk about other things too. I mean, we don't just have to talk about the anniversary. I want to talk about, regular stuff too. But thank you for all the well wishes. Any moments that stick out over the years? Oh, I'm sure there are many. But as usual, what am I going to say? If you've watched me for a while, I can't always think of them at the moment when people want them. I'm sure there were a lot of moments. Excellent, Day Tripper. Thank you. Okay. No, there is no cake. I guess it's all in my mind. I have to just imagine there is a cake. Uh, just drinking my delicious crystal clear water. So, what's on all your so-called minds today, huh? Everybody, tell me what the good word is. What's the good word, everybody? And what's on your so-called minds? I'll tell you what's things that are on my so-called mind. If you tell me what's on yours. So, now ask me something. I wish I could think of like some moments that really stood out here. Well, when you ask me like anything that stands out, that question from before, any moments that stick out, usually meeting people. That's a good one, And I mean, anytime that I get to meet anybody, anytime I'm anywhere where, whether it be a record store or a Paul McCartney or Ringo concert, or sometimes I'm at the movies or at the fest for Beatles fans, and somebody says, "Hey, Joe, hello, I watch your channel," and it always sticks out in my mind for me when people say that, and somehow, you know, I've done something for them. I made them laugh, or I've got them interested in maybe trying out some solo Beatles albums that maybe they wouldn't have been interested in before they saw my channel, or in some way that I've made things a little easier for them. People have told me that they were sick, or they were in the hospital, or it was during COVID. They were having issues, and that my channel helped them get through it. And, I just did this because I just love doing it and having fun. And that's always the main reason, whatever the other reasons are. It's always the fun of doing it. That's the chief reason. But boy, when you find out that it makes a difference to some people, that's really, really satisfying. So thank you. Do you think Laserdisc would have been great if the format had been like a DVD quality? Are they still too big? No. I mean, I think they were the too big laser discs, and you had to flip them over. Two-sided. Longer movies were more than two sides. I mean, that's just too much. I think. I know people who loved the laser disc and were real owners, collectors. They didn't mind. They didn't mind flipping the disc over, right? In fact, they had automatic players. Some of them, they didn't even have to get up and flip the disc over. So there you go. Mike Waljasper says, I've watched 7 years, since 2019. I enjoyed your video on multi-copies of Paul. Thank you, Mike. Oh, yeah, the McCartney demo. Oh, brother. Yeah, I just made a video. A lot of you know that, right? It just came out, the news that it's going to be that digital download iTunes McCartney bonus demo. You got to get. You have to, if you're going to get it, you get it that way. Yeah, well, you know how I feel if you watch the video. This is true. This is true, Mark. Tomorrow's Bob Dylan's 85th birthday. That's incredible. And he's touring too. We're pretty blessed to have a lot of these people here, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, all the people that we have, Dylan, all of them. And more. Has Paul ever said that he regretted not attending the Beatles Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction? I always thought it was a big mistake. I always thought it was a big mistake too, and I thought that was a real petty moment of Paul. I think that was silly to let business get in the way. However, I remember him I remember him saying that, and I don't know if he regretted it, but I remember him saying not too long after it, saying something like, I probably wanted to go there the most, than anybody, but he felt he had to make a point by not going because the Beatles were involved in business disputes, and he thought if all of a sudden we're all there together like friends, woo, shit, like going like this, all of a sudden it seems like a fake Beatles reunion when they're really involved still in some legal stuff. And I thought, and I think George thought, and Ringo thought that it would have been nice just to put that down for one night or something. Okay, tonight on Svengoolie, Dr. Cyclops is on there. I'll be honest with you, I've seen that movie. I own that movie, and I've seen it at least once in my life. I haven't watched it. I'm not really familiar with it. I remember it being pretty good. It's about a crazy doctor that shrinks people down to like small size, and you got to try to escape. That's what the movie's about, and it's in color. It's a 1940 movie, yet even though it's 1940, it's in color. And I think it's worth watching if I remember correctly. Hello, Stuart. Thank you very much. Thank you. How long did it take to get 1,000 subscribers? I subscribed about the time you were closing in on 3,000. I can't remember how long it took me to get 1,000 subscribers. All I know is that here I am, and I'm 14 years, and I have only 16,000. So, maybe it was a hair. I don't know, maybe a year, a little. I think it was over a year. But you don't really, when it comes to subscribers, you really can't say, so the subscriptions tend to go up a bit, I guess, when there's something like that's going on right now, when you have like the big Paul McCartney news, a big album coming out, or there's, the Beatles have Now and Then coming out, or the Red and the Blue albums have been remastered in 2023. And when you do that, when you have videos and content on that, they're very big. People watch them. A lot of people sub. But anyway, I mean, I don't know. I know there's some people that have retirement channels, about being old and retired. And I know the guy, in less than a year, he got 100,000 subscribers in less than a year. And I know another woman, a retired woman, took her about a year and a few months to get to 100,000. So, it's not easy. Hello, Conga Man. What's going on? I began my channel thanks to you. Thank you. Well, it's nice to hear. The exact video that made me want to do my videos where you tap press to play album apart. You mean this video here is the one that got you started?
Now this album, I just can't take it.
It's funny because I know that Tom Hunyadi told me that that video kind of is what got him interested in my channel too. That's interesting, so that's that's funny. I guess it was worth it. Yeah. Yep. Okay, yes. Again, watching McCartney playing trumpet on Colbert. Yeah, I've seen that afterwards. That was after the show it wasn't broadcast, I don't believe, right? When the Saints go marching in. Yep. I think you would have bought some laser discs if they came in a snapper case. No. The appeal of the laser disc is the huge vinyl LP like 12-inch artwork. No digital anything for me. Physical media all the way. You know how I feel about that. I feel the same. Hello, Rome loves Dan. What's going on? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. It means a lot. I bought Titanic on Laserdisc purely due to the fact that the gatefold cover and the inserts are amazing. Yeah, there are some nice looking Laserdisc packages out there. Sure. So saving and planning on coming to London to see the new exhibition in 2027. Nope, no, not yet. I don't know. When will I ever do that? But I have no plans. And saving right now, I'm trying to save a little bit, but because of dental work and other things that get in the way of life, this is life. And now I'm having a car issue too. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm having a car issue. And so far it's hanging in there. Let's hope it's okay. All right. I've got a Laserdisc player and some Laserdiscs myself, but these days I pretty much never watch them, to be honest. That's what TBH means. Yeah. Thank you. I liked it when George said he wished Paul had come because he had the speech in his pocket. Yeah, that was a funny line from George at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction speech. Yeah. It's a wonder that Dungeon Lane also isn't on Laserdisc. Give them time. How do you get that YouTube silver button? I'd have thought you would have one. You have to have 100,000 subscribers, which is a bit too much, I think. I think maybe, I don't know, 25,000 would be good. But no, it's not a button really. It's a plaque. Oh, I know what you mean. No, I know what you're saying. It's a plaque that's got the silver button on the plaque, right? Yeah, and I don't kid myself. I mean, you got to do the math. I mean, if I'm here 14 years, and in 14 years I've only accrued 16,000 subs, do the math. I'm 64. I mean, maybe I'll have 32,000 in another 14 years. Somebody up there is hammering something. You mentioned Paul looked different on Saturday Night Live in the Late Show, either Botox or a little facelift. Well, I noticed it more on the Colbert Show. I don't know. As soon as he walked on his first appearance, maybe because he walked on with a profile, his forehead or his nose, something looked and shiny, and his eyes, something just looked off when I first saw him. That's all I could say. But like I said, he looks. I still think he's looking damn good for his age. He's going to be 84 next month. Hello, Joseph. Thank you so much for checking in. I appreciate it. People have said this before. Some of them, the first video that they saw of mine was the Alpha Omega Beatles box sets. Yeah. Would that be something I'd purge or not? That's an interesting question because these days I'm purging all sorts of stuff. Beatles too. Not a lot of Beatles. Believe me, I'm going to still have a ton of Beatles records. A ton. But just doubles, triples, certain imports, certain bootlegs, but not everything. I don't know about that. I actually was thinking about that. I actually might. I might, but I'm not sure. I probably not. Variety gave Paul's album a glowing review. Well, now I'm hearing that most people are doing that. Anybody who's heard the album so far, that I've either read their review or heard their review, most of them are saying it's quite a good album. And it's one of Paul's best, from the last, I don't know what you say, since like Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, in the last 21 years. And maybe it's not his best album. They're saying that one of the best albums he's ever done, but certainly in the past 21 years or so. And that's good enough for me. And I hope it's good enough for Paul, but I'm very anxious to hear it, of course, and I'll be hearing it, I hope, by the end of next week, the week coming up. Steve, what's going on? Happy Saturday. Okay. What's your thoughts on when some Beatles news comes hot off the press? So many of you now all make videos at the same time on the same subject. Do you try to be more original? That's just a great question. Well, this happened just now. It just happened now because, Andrew Dixon made the first video I saw about this news about the download, the new McCartney download, digital. And then I said, no, I think I'm going to make an answer to that. And before I had a chance to do it, I noticed that Beatley Tone did one. But the thing is, a lot of people sometimes will say, oh, you're copying somebody. But but when it comes to Beatle news, everybody who has a Beatle channel has to give the news. Now, the truth of the matter is, and I'm sure they feel the same way. I know they do. For a fact. Let's leave it at that. Okay. That you want to try to be the first if you can. Of course, you want to try to be the first, but it doesn't always work out. Sometimes I'm the first. Sometimes I'm second. Sometimes I'm 7th or 8th, 10th. It depends. It's easier now because I don't work. Sometimes when I was working, I was a mailman and I would be delivering mail and I'd go back to my truck or something or a lunch break or whatever. And I'd see, oh, geez, there's news about something Beatle related, but I'm working. I can't do anything about it. Now you could pretty much drop what you do. And if you're home, you can make a video when you're home, but I've even made videos when I'm out. I could go in my car. If it's big news, I could sit in my car and I've done that, or out in the park or wherever I am and do it on my phone. So yeah, but as far as trying to be a little different, yeah, you got to try to be a little different. You don't want it to be exactly the same. I think, in all fairness, I think we've all got our own kind of style. You know what I mean? That's why if you're out there and you think, well, I've already heard this news before, whatever the news is. Oh, I've heard this already before. Well, people have different styles. People might throw in different things like, I try to throw in some different things of how I feel about it. If I get sometime New York City, would it still have "Woman is the bleep of the world" in it? No, it depends which one you get. I mean, you can still find it if it's an older copy. If it's an older copy, you can still find it with that song on it. Okay, FD Superstar, what's up? I didn't pick up the Flowers archive because there was a bunch of songs downloaded only. I ended up getting those songs another way. I remember that exactly, and I have. Hold on, let me just reach over here. I remember that exactly, and I still have something here, and I'll show you. Back then, I guess I was still subscribing to buying all the shit that they put out. So let's talk about that right here for a second, okay? Here it is. And I've never played this. This is years ago. Yeah, I was mad because the Flowers in the Dirt box set, they didn't put all the bonus stuff on it because at the time the argument was, well, young people today are not really into the physical media CDs so much. Then they go ahead on Record Store Day and put this thing out, which is Paul McCartney and Elvis Costello. This was a record store. This is an official cassette they put out to make it look like it was something. And it says on it, demos. and it has on it, says, if you can see it, I don't want to confess, Shallow Grave, and Mistress and Maid demos. And this was on Record Store Day. And I remember thinking, you guys, man, you guys are like hypocrites with that. You know what I mean? Hold on, I'm trying to. How do I? Okay, I'm talking to myself here. All right, where am I going to put this? Put it here. But you see what I mean? So I wasn't too thrilled with that, but I did buy that back. That's where my head was at. And remember, I know people are going to say in the future, I am still going to buy colored vinyl here and there. I'm still going to buy a cassette now and then. I'm still going to buy some gizmos and gadgets here and there. It's just that instead of buying, say, 10 out of 10, I may buy 1 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 or something. It's not, I still like the stuff. By the way, this is a good time to say, first time I'm going to talk about this. Tomorrow live, 4 p.m. Eastern. I haven't put an ad up yet. I'll put an ad up after the show here. I'm going to be doing the next episode of what I call Collectors Anonymous. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous. Well, Collectors Anonymous for people that just keep collecting and people who keep collecting, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to have a guest on. I won't tell you who the guest is. We're going to talk about collecting. Check out my playlist. You'll see that I did a couple of other shows, and they were pretty successful. But it's also a show where, in addition to myself and my guest talking about collecting, I leave it open so that you could make comments. And sometimes I let people up who are watching it. As I say, when I let people up, it's usually people that I know, that I trust, that I, from the audience, other YouTubers and such. So check it out. It'll be tomorrow once more. That'll be 4 p.m. Eastern on this channel. Collectors Anonymous. There are no Laserdisc pressing plants left in the world anymore, so that'll never happen. Although I wish Paul went to the Beatles induction Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think in the end it worked out for the best. The Beatles got back together in '95 for John and not media attention. That's right. It's true. It did work out well for the anthology. Sure did. Okay, James asks, how many versions of Paul McCartney's new album will you buy when it's released? Okay, right now I'm going to get the CD. Always going to get the CD. I collect CDs, and I'm going to be playing the CD 99.9% of the time. So it'll be the CD, and then I have pre-ordered a green vinyl from McCartney's website, and I have pre-ordered, I think also from McCartney's website, the so-called gatefold edition. So that's right now, that's what I got. 2 vinyl copies and a CD. Okay. There's about like 14 others, something like that. There's multiple CDs out there. There's multiple vinyl out there. Did you see Richard Benjamin and his still lovely wife, Paula Prentice, leaving the hospital? They're okay, by the way. Damn you, old age. I really want to meet Richard Benjamin because he was in one of my top 5 movies of all time, Westworld. So I definitely want to meet Richard Benjamin and James Brolin one day. Yeah. Hello, Robbie. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you for all your support. Come on, Paul McCartney. Come on, Joe's 15th anniversary show. Yeah. Well, I don't think of it so much as an anniversary show. I just wanted to mention it in the, I didn't, because I didn't make a special video. I think I made a video for the 10th anniversary, right? Because it was 10 years. I think I'll make one if I make it for 15 years or maybe 20 years. 15 years, 20 years. Okay, 4D man, yes sir, says the Evolver 62 Blu-ray arrived yesterday from USA. Not seen it yet. Looking on the back, no extras, which sucks for £27. I'll tell you, I've never seen the Evolver series, believe it or not. Mad Team parents, hello. Thank you very much, sir. I hope there were some rockers on Dungeon Lane. I don't think there are many, but I heard maybe a couple. What did you think of Chad's drumming with Paul on Saturday Night Live? Well, it's funny that I didn't really make much. I didn't make any comment about it on my video. I mean, it was fine. I guess I'm not always like that. Sometimes I'll notice a drummer and I'll say, "Wow, that drummer was fantastic." But it just seemed to serve the song. It seemed good, adequate. I don't mean adequate as a. I'm not talking. He's from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I'm not trying to say adequate as in like, yeah, he's all right. No, I just mean he was good. I missed Abe though. Paul McCartney's company sent me a text. How will I be listening to the new album? Vinyl, CD, cassette, or streaming? I texted back 8-track. You should have said Edison cylinder. Yeah. My favorite videos were the vinyl finds of all kinds. Yeah, and the record store videos with Don and the guys. I hope you'll stick around no matter what, Robbie, because, the vinyl finds of all kinds are really taking a hit. And I might be making vinyl, the vinyl purge videos. But occasionally I will buy a vinyl. I'm always going to buy Beatles-related group and solo vinyl. That, occasionally Elvis, maybe. And still a vinyl here and there. It's not that I'm not buying any but and the record store videos with Don and the guys at the store, I've got some footage. I have to get footage as I go along because it is. I've told you so many times. A lot of people like those record store videos, hangouts, but there are not many anymore because Don's been in the hospital. But when I say he's in the hospital, I don't think from what I hear it's like serious. I think he's in there for some kind of rehabilitation or something. I mean. I don't know. We got to see. That's what I hear. And anyway, but I always have my camera with me. My phone is my camera. And if anything happens worth recording, and when I get enough, as soon as I get enough pieces, I have enough that I could make at least a 10-minute video, if not more. I put it up 10, 15, 20 minutes. Okay, who knows if true, because I saw it on the internet, but David Gilmour apparently said the Beatles weren't just a band, they were a miracle. Well, they were. On the 8th day, God created the Beatles, and I mean that. I'm not even saying that in a jocular way. I know that. It's obvious. It's obvious. It's magic. Lightning in a bottle that only happens once like that. And cheered the world up. Paul has mentioned the first song he wrote. Did John ever talk about his first written song? I forget if he ever talked about it. Now, first of all, we used to think John's first song was Hello, Little Girl, but I think there was something called, I'm going to take a chance if my memory is good. Is it called Calypso Rock? Because in Mark Lewison's book, the Tune In book, I think he talked about that and said John's first song was Calypso Rock or something like that. See if my memory's good on that. Trying to remember it. Darren, hello, Darren. I really should sing the Rolling Stones, but shouldn't I? For you, I gotta think of what can I do? I'm trying to think of a song. Can't do it. I mean, I gotta do it it's my anniversary show. Oh man. Um, I can't. I'm sorry. I delayed for nothing. If I think of a song, I'll do it. Very good. Very good, James. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Did you not buy any laser discs? Some look great to have. No, I didn't buy any of those laser discs. For those who don't know, that's my movie channel. Once again, I'll put everybody knows my channel, I'm sure. This is the name of my movie channel down here on the bottom. Please subscribe. Help me out over there. There's movies, TV, nostalgia, pop culture. But anyway, I did a video where I was looking through some laser discs, and although some of them were nice, I didn't buy any of them, honestly. It wasn't nice enough for me, I guess. So that was that. Okay. Anyone out there ordered the new Deep Purple album yet? Okay. It's interesting that all the opinions on the new McCartney extra track, it's not a CD issue, it's a iTunes download, are totally negative. That has to say something. It does. It says they're really getting out of control. Really getting out of control. Absolutely. Jerry, what's going on? I'm listening to the Stones recently. Angie and Fool to Cry are sad songs. Did the Beatles have sad songs? One of the saddest ones, I think, is She's Leaving Home. She's Leaving Home is sad. For No One. She's Leaving Home and For No One are the first two that come to my mind. Right? That's what I think. Let me get this banner out of your face. All right, there you go. I'm going to go back up here again. Is there any AI on Dungeon Lane? I wonder. I don't know. But Paul's got to do whatever he can do these days on his own records. Not bothered on the extra track. It'll show up on YouTube eventually, and I'll listen then if in the mood or not. Well, the thing for us is fans, I guess most of us, not all fans, but you got to watch your words here, right? People, a lot of fans want to own them. They want to have it on physical media. Looking forward to that show, George. And of course, you're welcome to come up, if you're here. It's 4:00 tomorrow. I think I'm going to start with my guest first, and then as the show goes on, then I'll open it up. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. For me, variants and additions are mixed material dependent. I don't need 10 of the same just because it's a different color, but with the same material. Yeah, I know what you mean. And that's what I'm realizing. I mean, I always realize it, but a lot of it just depends where you are at that time in your life. Sometimes it was more fun to me to do it than collect it. No, I don't need it. Thank you, Christian. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. I'm going to sing a song. Yeah. I was dreaming last night, babe. Last night, I was dreaming. That's terrible. I usually do it better than that. I did the middle of Emotional Rescue. Laughable fact, Chad was told at a gig they looked like Will, and he walked off the stage in a rage mid-gig. It's on YouTube. Really? I take it you're not opening the colored vinyl. Just the CD will get open and played? Well, that's not the case, no. Even though I like to keep certain albums sealed for collectability, the colored vinyl I always open because I want to enjoy the colored vinyl. I want to look at it. I want to show it to you people. So far, I'm only having one. Yeah, I still haven't heard the Stones yet. I guess I'm waiting for the album in this case. I'll wait for the album. Will you ever rewatch the original 3 Star Wars movies? I don't think I ever will. I saw them in the movie theater. Well, I didn't see them all in first run, actually. When my nephews were small, somewhere in the 90s, they played Star Wars movies, well, 3 of them, I think, in the theater. Not together. I think they one at a time at different times. And I saw them in the movie theater. And, I admire, I mean, I don't like Star Wars, not at all, but I respect the first 3. The original ones. But I just never need to see them again unless I want to look at Carrie Fisher in that outfit. Other than that, I'll be honest. Okay, I'm a man, and I don't. Otherwise, I don't really think I really want to see them anymore. Really. All right, look who's showing up down there. But we'll get to him in a minute. Just woke up, Joe. Aussie time, 7 a.m. Was in a dream. You and me were riding bicycles by a river. I was riding a bicycle next to Jerry Carter. That sounds like an interesting day. Yeah, Imagine was in the laser discs. How many copies you getting, Joe? Yeah, exactly. Listen, Tom, I'm assuming you're not available right now. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're available or not. Probably working, but is tomorrow's show's themed or is it a general chat stream? Well, it's a general chat stream for the most part, but the beginning of it, I'm gonna talk about probably different variants of the McCartney stuff, and then we're gonna get into other stuff. So you might be able to guess who my guest will be, but maybe not. I don't know. And then after that, I'm gonna, like I said, it's always open. Even maybe during that discussion, it's always open to other people on YouTube. Will you rank Oh Yoko, Dear Yoko, and the Ballad of John and Yoko? Oh, that's easy for me. Ballad of John and Yoko is number 1. Oh Yoko is number 2, and Dear Yoko is a distant third. Hello, lady. What's up? Joe singing Stones gives us an emotional jolt. Yeah, but you need a rescue. Get it? You need a rescue from my emotional rescue singing. Wow, it's like Mick was in the room. I don't know which room, but a room somewhere anyway. Yeah, a padded cell. That's where it was. Anyone you'd like to collaborate with Paul on a song or an album? Paul Weller or Peter Daughtry, maybe Tom York for me. I always wonder why Dylan and Paul never worked together. Is there still time? The pre-special edition Star Wars, you mean? I don't know. I just know I saw the Star Wars movies in the theater. You know, they might have been pre-special edition, I think. I have not seen the movies, the movie 12 Monkeys, I'm afraid. Okay, Tom is at work. Star Wars Blu-ray looks amazing, but I want the original versions, not with the added scenes and the effects. And somebody shot first, or somebody didn't shoot first, or something like that. Yeah. I can't stand Star Wars. I really can't. Do you think you'll ever give Pet Sounds another listen, or is it dead to you? It took me a long time to finally enjoy it. Well, I don't like when people say you got to listen to something 193 times. You force yourself to like it. Boom, boom. I've heard Pet Sounds about 3 times. I remember by the 3rd time, I didn't dislike it as much as the first, but I don't really care for it. I'm other than Wouldn't It Be Nice and Sloop John B and God Only Knows. But with Pet Sounds, I won't say definitely no. That I'll never try it again or listen to it again. Let's put it that way. They put the original Star Wars back on in the cinema in 1999. Okay, that's when it was. Okay. There's somebody who thinks Pet Sounds is dire. I still want to hear the Keith Richards and McCartney, what they wrote in 2006. I thought about Dylan and Paul, but not sure that would work now. 30 years ago, maybe. Yeah, at this point anyway, although Dylan's the one I thought of, I'm thinking, come on. Yeah, they're both old. The time to do this would have been before, yeah. I heard they released a $100 Pet Sounds like Omega Epic audiophile vinyl box set. I think I heard something about that as well. Dr. Rick, hello. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. With you on Star Wars. Pretty dull, those movies. Will you get Epic on DVD? I haven't decided on that yet. I enjoyed, if I got it, it would be Blu-ray, by the way. But I don't know. I have Elvis on Tour. I have That's the Way It Is. That might be good enough for me, but who knows? Somewhere down the line, maybe. I'm not against it. It's not that I don't want it. It was I saw it in the theater at least 2 times, maybe 3 even. I've seen 3. but I don't know how many times I want to watch that anymore. No, I don't do reading. I don't read anymore unless I'm reading. I used to read a lot when I was younger, and I think that's how I got a decent vocabulary, and even better, how I write decently. I'm a pretty good writer. I think I write and spell pretty decently. That's because of that. But as I say, my eyes just don't. I get more problems with my eyes trying to read. They're not the same as when I was younger. And what I read are books. If certain Beatle books, I mean, of course, if they're Beatle books, I'll try to read those. And if there's especially books that have to do with references, reference keeping, things I want to look up occasionally. They should have put the other tracks from Free as a Bird and Real Love EPs on Volume 4 of Anthology. I wonder why they didn't. Beats me. I notice in general, you pretty much never gravitate towards audiophile vinyl, even when you were more into vinyl. Same here. Yeah, I guess not. I mean, when it comes to the Beatles, I want every time they redo stuff, remaster, remix, whatever they do, I want to try to get the best. But sometimes with the Beatles, even I find myself going back. I was not impressed with Revolver, the new one. Sorry. Some of the tracks I was. Some of the tracks, and some of them I weren't. That's Giles Martin for you. He bats 50 in my book, or 500. That's a 500. Okay. Yes. No, I never took typing classes when I was in school. They did have typing. That's how old I am. But what was the first single and album you bought? I can't remember for 100% sure what the first single or album I bought was. Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking like back then. I wasn't making it. Too bad. I just know a lot of the singles I bought were in the very early 70s. I bought Dragging the Line. One of the ones I remember is Dragging the Line by Tommy James. And around that period, 1970, like I would buy 1970, 71, 72, around there. There's a lot of stuff that I bought. The song Popcorn, the instrumental by Hot Butter, bought that. I used to buy 45s like that. The album, I remember having the second Monkees album, More of the Monkees, with the greenish cover. This one here, I might as well show you. This is not the album. This is and of course it's signed by To Joe Cool, Mickey Dolenz. Cool. I think he's talking about the EP. I don't know, because it's a jukebox EP, which is kind of unusual and rare. But I remember that being an early album that I acquired, but I don't know. I like the poster behind you. What is the best Someone versus Someone movie? Well, I like Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman the best. I also love King Kong versus Godzilla. The original King Kong, like Godzilla versus Kong. King Kong versus Godzilla from like 62 was 63. I hate that you got to qualify that these days. You got to like be specific. And I also like Freddy versus Jason. I thought was good. Did not like the Smurfs, but I didn't like or dislike the Smurfs. I just had no feeling either way. What is the last album you put on and listened to from beginning to the end? Oh boy, the very last one. Oh man, I hate when I can't remember these things. It really makes me wonder. I'm trying to think of the drives that I took. It would probably be a solo Beatles album if it was one, but I can't remember. As far as non-Beatles album, there have been some of those too, but they're all in my mind kind of mixed up, so I can't think. Do you have any of the 60s Beatles Japanese red vinyl records? To the best of my knowledge right now, I do not. At least I don't have any 12-inch records. I used to. I think I sold those a while ago. Yes, you heard right. And as far as the 7-inch record, I might have some red Japanese vinyl 7-inch records. Yeah, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. So much great content was cut from that film. I wish we could see the content. the footage from this movie, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, that was cut, is like my most wanted cut footage because Bela Lugosi played the Frankenstein monster, and because he had a Hungarian accent, when they played when they played it back for the screening room, everybody laughed unintentionally, and they were so terrified it was going to bring laughs that they cut all the dialogue scenes out, so the monster didn't talk anymore. Well, that's one thing, except it takes away some of the plot, some of the idea of the plot, but it was removed because of that. So that's the only thing about that. What was your favorite Beetle Fest and why? Well, I have memories of. I like different Beetle Fests for different reasons. I remember the first Beetle Fest I went to in 1981 was the first year I went to the Beetle Fest, and I liked that a lot because I went with my friends and I met some really cool celebrities then. At the time, Victor Spinetti from Helping a Hard Day's Night is one that comes to mind, and others. And also the flea market was very good there. It was a huge flea market. Today it's a little room. And it was a huge flea market. And then later on, I remember trying to think, like, when I started getting this channel and I started going, I enjoyed meeting my friends there. I enjoyed going because I would be able to see people like Matthew Street there. I'd meet Marvin G, Beetle Vinyl 85. And it would just, over the years, Beetle Brad. And then it would become just fun. As years went on, I would do panels. I started doing panels with Tom Hunyadi, Andy Nichols, and Ken Michaels. It would be a lot of fun doing those panels. And I really enjoyed all that. So there's different things I liked. I think I always say this, I enjoy the early Beetle Fests more because there was so much more to see and do. And so many more celebrities were still with us. So those were better. But these days I like it better because I got the channel and it's a pleasure to go and socialize with other Beatle YouTubers and hang out, and also to meet you people. So many of you people said thank you for the channel, and you wanted to say hi, and we talk what you like about the channel, what you don't like, to take pictures, whatever. So I like that today. That's the best way I can answer that question. I never got to get back journals, and I'm not going anymore either. See, those are the kind of things in the old days I might have really had to have it just to be complete. Yeah, I enjoy the movie Dracula. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Dracula versus Frankenstein. It's a terrible movie, and it's one of those inept grade Z shoestring budget movies that's fun because of that. Will you ever show us the view of that room from your angle? You mean what I'm looking at here? Is that what you mean? Because if you're asking me, like, from what I'm looking at a wall. I don't know if that's what you're asking me, but how long have you been retired? 4 years. And as being a YouTuber, one of the reasons you couldn't wait to retire so you could focus more time to this. The main reason I wanted to retire was because I hated my freaking job at the post office. Couldn't wait to retire because I hated my job. But as far as other things, yeah, having time to focus on this channel, and also to my movie channel, and also my third channel, which I'm also going to ask you to look at now. So all of you know by now, I'm sure, but it's Mayo Loves Mondays. There's the rant videos talking about life at the Joe and Danny show. Joe and Danny have a show. My friend Danny and I do a show over there, and live. We have quite interesting moments on there. And the rant videos, I want to make that clear. A lot of people over the years have really enjoyed my rant videos. There still are a lot of rant videos right here. You got to look at the playlists, look at the rants, what we're yelling, like that, and about certain topics. If that's your thing, it's not everybody's thing. But if you look at that, you'll see the rant videos, and they're now. But I want to make it clear, they're moving. A lot of those rant videos will stay here and never move. But any new ones from the future, anytime I have a new rant to do, it'll be over there. So if you're here for rants, please, that's a good way to plug Mayo Loves Mondays, because that's where my new rant channel is now. Okay. Have you heard they're releasing a new George Harrison song in October, along with a new book of photographs? No, I have not. I have not. This is the first I'm hearing of that. Will Mikey be a guest on the Collectors Anonymous show? Funny how he collects just for collecting, but not the vinyl. Yes, that's true. He's not really. He's not a vinyl collector, really. He's not scheduled to be on there. He's welcome to pop up later on if he likes, Mikey. If you're listening. But he was on the first show. I did 2 shows so far. I was going to do one every month, but I think the last one was February. I skipped March and I skipped April, I think. So we're going to do one. Don't forget, again, I'm going to remind everybody, tomorrow, Sunday, it'll be live here, 4:00 Eastern time. And that'll be the Collectors Anonymous show for collecting and talking about all collecting and the ups, the downs. In my case, how I'm cutting out a lot of collecting, but at the same time, adding other things to collect. Lately I started getting into, I'm looking to see if they're there, It's strange. Hello, Mick64. You average reading at least 1 book a week. So 50 over a year. Very good. Very good. Reading is my number 1 hobby. Movies number 2 and music number 3. What about eating meat? Where does eating meat go? Oh, hello, Brian. They're having a Dungeon Lane listening party in Liverpool's Jacaranda, and there's a rumor going around that, Paul might be there, eh? Shh. I do not own every issue of the Beatles Monthly. The Beatles Monthly is something I would not sell. I have Beatles Monthlies, a lot of them, but I would not sell those because they're still very, very valuable. When I read a Beatles Monthly, especially the original ones, you really feel like you're there in the 60s because it's a product of the times. And also, there are photographs in those Beatle Monthly magazines that you don't see anywhere else. Really like, intimate, in-depth, kind of like in the studio stuff. After the anthology came out in 95, the late 90s fests in the Meadowlands were fantastic. Jam-packed every year. My favorite fests. Is it a secret ambition to appear on Oprah to talk about the channel? No. Does Oprah still have a show? I didn't know if she was still on or not. But no, nothing against you, Joe, but I always think it's a crime when a window gets covered by stuff. If that is a window under the double fantasy poster, yes, that is a window. I have 2 windows here. You can only see that's one, and then I have one next to it off camera. And they're covered. Yes, they are covered. But I'm still able. The one that is not seen on the camera, I can open the blinds and light comes through. Before you retired, did you say out loud how much you hated your job? I didn't have to do that. I made it clear every day on the job. You know me. I made it clear that I hated that job. I own every original 2-minute 2. I don't know what that is. 2M77 277 issues of Beatles Monthly, 63 to 69. Congratulations. That's very good. I wish I had them all. I don't. Have you ever been to the cinema with Tom or Tim? Well, I've never met Tim Allen. Tim and I have never met in person. Tom and I have been together at the Beatle Fest a bunch of times now, but we've never seen a movie together, I don't think, Tom. I don't think so. Regarding hating your job, I take it you didn't know what you wanted to do while growing up. You got it. Never knew what I wanted to do. I had no idea, no ambition, no nothing. I knew I liked movies. Now looking back on it, like I knew I liked movies, but I didn't want to be a director, and I knew I didn't want to be an actor. I mean, I would have liked to be. To tell you the truth, I think I'd make a good actor if. Whatever, but it's a little late for that. It's like, unless I'm on a TV series and I play the crazy uncle or something, crazy Uncle Joe or something. But editing, I love editing stuff. So when I edit my videos and stuff, sometimes I enjoy doing that. What happened to George's final takes after Volume 1? Is it another joke like the Wilbury, Volume 1 and 3? There will never be a Volume 2. I don't think at this point there's ever going to be an Early Takes Volume 2, but you never know. But the last one, I think, was Volume 1, I think, was in 2012, I believe. I really think that. I think it was that long. Okay, the book will be called The Third Eye Early Photographs. Excuse me, Third Eye Early Photographs. No real information on the song yet, except it's a complete track and not just a demo. Okay. I never gone camping as far as I can remember. I think I would remember that, but am I the outdoors type? Well, I'm not the outdoors type with like camping. I wouldn't want to camp, but sure, I love being outdoors. Yes, in general, but not outdoors in the sense of camping outdoors. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I don't like Sour Milk Sea. I've never been a fan of that song. Ever entered a competition and won? Well, talking of competition, I won some things in my life. Nothing, I mean, no major competitions that I can remember, but I did win some. You know, most notably, it's not a competition really, but I was the right caller for a radio station once, and I got to see Paul and MTV up close in 1992. I got to see him up close. There it is. Meat is the natural human diet. Eating is not a hobby anymore. Oh, okay, gotcha. It's not a hobby. Do you have a favorite single or album of all time? I have many. It's so hard to say. A lot of times I say my favorite single is Judy in Disguise with Glasses by John Fred and his Playboy Band. Sometimes I say that's my favorite single of all time, a favorite song of all time, but it's not even a Beatles one, is it? But lots of singles. As far as albums go, it has to be a Beatles album. I always say the Beatles' second album from America is my favorite album of all time. It's a rainy day, Robert P. It certainly is. There's no doubt about that. It sucks. You could star in a TV series about a man with a large Beatles collection. No, I could not, because I do not have a large Beatles. In my opinion, Brian, I do not have a large Beatles collection. But now I got what you're saying, though. Maybe it could be in a TV show, a TV series about it, right? Forget it. I thought we were talking about reality TV, like being on like a TV show as a great collector or a collector's call. People like Mikey Arugula have me beat, and people like Mr. Beatles Pro have me beat. So we're having a heat wave here in the UK. Joe would love the sunshine and the heat. I would. Right now, it's raining outside, 52 degrees. Isn't that wonderful? Here it is. It's the end of May, almost June, and we're still freaking cold here. And we had a nice couple of hot days, but we love camping, but sold our camper last year. Too many trips to Alaska to use it anymore. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Judy in Disguise with Glasses is one. I always mention that. I listened to the Pure McCartney 4 CD version while pulling weeds in the garden and trimming the trees. Oh, good choice of music. Good choice. Only one time I did camp. It's a story where the first time I got to see Paul when he was playing Madison Square Garden in 1989, I waited outside. I stayed outside with my girlfriend at the time. I had a different girlfriend in those days. And we stayed overnight outside, and it was fun. We sat on the concrete outside, didn't sleep. We just sat down with a bunch of other fans, and people had boom boxes, and we listened to. I remember one guy playing Monkberry Moon Delight, and he would get up. He's maybe had a couple of drinks, and he got up and he was like putting his arms up and singing to the heavens, Monkberry Moon. He was singing. We had a good time, and then the morning came, and the box office opened, and they were sold out. We never got the tickets. We waited all flipping night. Then they tried to give us this deal where we had to get wristbands. We had to wear wristbands for a few days. We had a wristband and go home, and they'll tell you when, something like that. And we were so disappointed. A lot of people got denied. I think the scalpers got them. Anyway, I wound up going to two McCartney shows. He was playing 4 nights in the Garden in '89. I think I went to 2 shows. And, I think one of them was a guy I knew had an extra ticket, so that's how I got there. And then I think that I scalped another ticket. Yes, you heard me right, I think. If I remember correctly. That's right. Beetle Brad has a lot. Mikey has a lot. Beatles Pro, they got a lot. See, the thing is, I'm telling you, I've already said this a number of times, and I mean it. When I met Mikey Arugula and started making those videos at his house, as much as I like a lot of it, he's part of the reason why I won't collect as much anymore. I told Mikey this. I said, Mikey, I love you, but I got to tell you, you turned me off to collecting that much shit. You did. I mean, I got a lot of shit here, if you want to call it shit. But some of the things you can't have everything, and that's I thank Mikey in not deliberate way of toning me down a lot with a lot of stuff. I mean, still there's going to be stuff. I'm looking around for examples of stuff that I don't have any right here. But what do you think about John telling George Martin he wanted to redo every Beatles song? I think that a couple of things. First of all, I think that John liked to be a wise guy, a wise ass, like tweak people a little bit. So I think he was tweaking George Martin a little bit. But I also believe that John did feel that way. But that's okay, because the way I look at it is that's the mark of a great artist. A great artist is never satisfied. Always thinks they can do better. I mean, I'm a big fan of Charlton Heston when his movies, and he always said in interviews, he says, if you could have like one wish or something when he was old, he said this, what would you wish for or something? He said that just one time I could get it right. Like he said, and the guy said, really, you really feel it? He says, well, he says, I don't think actors really are ever satisfied. Like that kind of thing. You're always striving for more perfection. So it doesn't bother me. It's a little disappointing sometimes when he says that, but I know what John is talking about. That's okay. I think people who don't collect anything, it's a mental health problem. So we're even. No. It's not summer here yet. Believe me, it's terrible. Hola, Tony. With your love of music, I'm surprised you've never learned an instrument. Did you play a little bass? I do. I still play a little bass. I was never a big musical instrument player, but I do play a little bass. And there it is right there. Play a little bass. And that's it. But I just was never interested. I don't know. I just never was interested. As I say, I had a friend who played a little guitar, and he tried to tell me how to play guitar. He taught me. I was very impatient. I couldn't get my fingers on the right chords, and even when I couldn't press hard enough. I couldn't believe how hard you had to press in order to get a solid sound. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. So anyway, yeah, I like that song, Green Tambourine. Yeah, I like that song, sure. Okay. I remember seeing the Apple label for the very first time on the White Album at my cousin's house. I remember thinking it was so unusual. Yeah, it is an unusual and interesting design. We rent the cabin instead of maintaining a 20-foot camper and truck. What was the best individual year from 63 to 69 for Beatles songs? If you're going to pick one year, wow. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. You kill him. How could you? Isn't it amazing that a band that's so great, that all the years are great, it's hard to come up with it? You want to say 60, 67 sometimes, I might say 65 if I have to pick one. If I have to pick one, I'll pick 65. I like the early Beatles best, 64 or 65. 64, 65, and 67. Why don't I say 60, 66 also? I'm not sliding Revolver. I love Revolver, but, there just wasn't as much out in 66, I don't think, as there were in those other years. Your specialty is collecting Beatles books signed by the authors. That's very good. Whatever that sounds like. I have some. I have some of those. I have a book, The Man Who Gave the Beatles Away, signed by Alan Williams. Hello, Eric. What's going on, Eric? What's this about a bonus song on iTunes? You really haven't heard about it? Yeah, I forget the name of it already. What is it about? The first star of the night song from Paul's new album that has a rough demo out, and you can only get it by going on iTunes. It's like, yeah, right, sure. Yes, I love Brad as a person that we hang out, but there is so much. It overwhelms me. Yeah, it's just too much. No offense to anybody. Look, I'm there. I still have too much. This is too much to people. But it's just the way I am. I've said this before, and this again, I'll remind people: watch my show tomorrow at 4 p.m. live called Collectors Anonymous, where we talk about the collecting habit, and that's exactly what I'm discussing here. It's just that it gets to be overwhelming, and I'm going to shut the camera off just for a minute, but I'll still talk because I'm getting a burning eye right now, and sometimes that happens to me, and my eye starts tearing. And I gotta keep one eye closed, like a wink, like I'm winking. And if I take a tissue and I just pat it and rub it for a little gently, for a while, it improves sometimes. So I'm gonna hope for that. Some people say it's dry eye. I don't think I'm ready yet to come back. Maybe you don't want to see my mug. Probably better off. I know I need a shave today, and yeah, I do think about those things. Yes, I do. When you're on camera, why not? Well, hopefully that's going to help. We'll see. I found a really trash copy of Electronic Sound at an antique shop yesterday. The bottom left corner was just totally torn off. Yeah, I know. And some people may find that like a difficult album to find in its original form. So, yeah, exactly. Man, the eye's going again. This one. Happy anniversary. I've been watching since around 2013 when you were in your old apartment. I guess I'll stick around. Yeah, we're still in my old apartment. That's a long time you've been here. A long time. I have a lot of Beatles stuff and collectibles, but nothing that everyone else can't get. Probably already has anyway. Yeah. Does your estimation, I'm going to give me some more time here, folks. Does your estimation in vinyl go down a bit if the record isn't in polyline sleeve? My estimation, no. It still could be in great condition even without the polyline sleeves. There's some people, they buy records and then immediately they get polyline sleeves and they put the records in this polyline. About the inner sleeve. I think you mean the inner sleeve. But to me, I'm not one of those people that think there's a problem with paper sleeves. People say, "Oh, it scratches the records." They had paper sleeves in the 50s. They're still if you take care of them, they're still in great shape. But anyway, I think it's ideal. Polyline sleeves are always ideal. If someone gave me a choice, I'd say, yeah, I'd rather have the polyline sleeve than not. But I don't go out of my way. So, okay, Janice has a thing for the Apple label. Yes, indeed. Oh man. I think we starting to think you are right that the film Help is being suppressed because of the cult religion stuff. I think so. That's what I think. Nobody's talking about Help. Nobody remembered the anniversary of Help. They're trying to put it on a shelf and act like it doesn't exist. Kind of a lot like the John Lennon song about the woman, being the trigger of the world, Yeah. And I don't know about that. I've heard the Beatles now own Help, and they're like guarding it now. I don't know how true that is. But it's a fun movie, and it's a damn shame that because it's the cult and it's Eastern, and maybe that's why they're not putting it. It's like, come on, man. I've been watching since your second video. You honestly, literally, it was the second video, Robert? Wow. Yes, there's a book Charlton Heston had out in '76 about his. He kept a journal. He kept the journal, and yes, it's a great book. It's called The Actor's Life. But the thing is, The Actor's Life book came out in, I think, '78. I want to say, and I found a used copy, and it has all his journal diary entries of the days he made his movies, which is great. But then in later years, and I won't bore you with this much longer, so hang around. In his later years, he had a bio out called "In the Arena," which is his later book, and all that really. Well, he used his journal notes to help him remember. That's all. So it's kind of like a consolidation of that first book. I like watching other people collecting stuff and watching them make videos about it. Yeah, that's a cheaper way to do it. I'll tell you that. What is Charlton Heston's best film after Ben-Hur and Planet of the Apes? Oh, let me think. You really got me thinking here. I want to say Touch of Evil, maybe Touch of Evil, the Ten Commandments, Will Penny. Of course, I love Soylent Green and the Omega Man, two science fiction movies. There you go. I think Robert P. saying 1966 was the best Beatles year, peak music. I'm not playing any ukulele. No, James, I'm not. There you go. The older brother of a friend of mine bought the White Album when it first came out, but had to return it because it had a wrong disc in it. It had James Taylor's first album in it. Well, if it has to be a wrong album in there, James Taylor, you could do a lot worse than James Taylor, so that's good. If you went to a party and a Ouija board came out, would you go home? I wouldn't necessarily go home, but I probably wouldn't play. When I was a kid, I would, but I bought the White Album at Corvette's, $7.99, 1970. I was 10. It took a lot of chores to make that kind of money back then. Yeah. I love Mikey Arugula's videos, but sheesh, his collecting is off the scale. But good luck to him all the same. He has a good time. God bless him. He has a good time. He loves it. Some of the stuff even if I had the money, it's not only about money. I mean, I don't have a lot of money, but even if I did, I don't have a lot of. I always say this to people. What do you mean you don't have a lot of time left? Even if I live to be 90, it's not all that much anymore. And I'm like, I just don't see the point anymore. That's just me. Okay, how did I miss this somehow? I'm sorry, I didn't know about this. Condolences to Beetle Brad on the loss of his beloved dog, Buddy. Well, I think he lost another dog. So, yes, sorry, Beetle Brad. If Mikey Arugula and Mr. Sticker Mania had a live stream, they would call it Collectors Unanimous. Exactly. And where are you, Uncle Paul? I want to talk to you. Uncle Paul's Playhouse. I want to talk to him. One time I asked about contact lenses, and I had an examination, and they told me I was not a candidate for contact lenses. I don't know what it is about my eyes, but they said I'm not a candidate. But as the years have passed, I've said this before, I like having glasses because glasses hide imperfections. If you have some things going on under here or on the sides or whatever, the glasses help, hide some things. So I'm okay with the glasses, not really. But I like these kinds of glasses that they have no frame on the bottom. They're like clear, Your book signed by Alan Williams could be worth up to about $500. Really? I'm going to have to sell it. No, I mean, I would, if I could get $500 for that, really, honestly, I would sell it right now because I got some dental work I need done. So People have asked me this. Did you ask me this? People ask me this every stream about riding a bicycle. No, I don't ride a bicycle. I can ride a bicycle, but I don't because I like riding bikes. I haven't been on one in a while, but I don't have any place to keep it, to store it here. So it wouldn't work out. I'm glad to have the boot promo of George's Rejected Somewhere in England. It's better than the released version. Yeah, because it's got the different songs on it. Well, Penny Lane, you're here. What's going on? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think Heston donated the proceeds of that book to his hometown of St. Helens, Michigan, which is not far from me. Well, he always did things like that. Very generous man, no matter what people think about his politics. I mean, I'm bringing the politics up. I shouldn't have. But the thing is, I didn't like him for his politics. I liked him for his, he changed politics in his life too. I like him for his movies and his movie persona. I love watching videos of people who are passionate about something, collectors, music, whatever it is. Sometimes they tell me in my videos I get passionate sounding about things. Yes. Will you review Dungeon Lane, the music, first before doing unboxing videos? Whatever comes first, I guess. I don't know. With Dungeon Lane, I hope to get it a little early. I'm not sure I'm going to get it early, but if I do, I will. And the thing is, I'm going to try to give it more time. I really want to whenever I feel I know the songs well enough, and that could be one, or maybe not, it could be 3 listens. In 3 listens, I might know them. It might take me 5 or 6. But the thing is, after I played it a couple of times, at least 2, if I play it 2 times and I'm like, I really feel like comfortable with these songs, like I know them, great. But I may wait a little longer. I don't know yet. It depends. Touch of Evil is a great film. You can really feel the tension. The first shot, the long take with the dolly down the street, is impressive. Certainly is. It certainly is. The only thing with Mikey is with him keeping those items in their eBay boxes for so long, it's like he'll open it years to find out it was damaged, and he couldn't get refunded by that. You see, I don't understand. It's like, Mikey is 71 years old, right? I shouldn't be saying that, but whatever. Anyway, 71. And the thing is, he opens these things. Like, yeah, I got this. Hey, look at this. What's this? Oh man, this is cool. He puts it down. I'm like, what are you going to do with that now? If you were 30, if you're 31, maybe for the next 50 years, you do something else with it. But what are you going to do with it? That's like this thing. Like, I've never played this. I showed this earlier. This is for those who didn't see, this is the Paul McCartney Record Store Day. This is not something I made. This is an official release. This is an official release of the demos for Record Store Day. I've never played it. Nice to have it. I threw it on here in a pile, and there it will remain till the rest of my life. So that's how I feel about a lot of this now. Just the way I've changed. But stuff like this, if you look around here, these some autographed albums, and there's and the poster of John here, and the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, the Ringo thing. These I'm looking at. I'm looking at them. I see them. I mean, I got to change things up in here eventually. It's getting to be the same old thing, but I'm getting use out of these, really. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's how I kind of feel about it. That's the difference these days. Yeah, I would be very nervous about eye surgery. I would. My dad had a bumpy surface on his corneas, so he couldn't use contact lenses. I don't think he even wanted them. Yeah, I don't think that wasn't the case with me, but I think it might have something to do with needing distance and close and distance. Hello, Cliff and Phil show. What's going on? Thank you. Thank you much. Looking at my YouTube files, I found my first comment to you from 2021. Beatles reached #1 again. Oh, how do you find that out? How'd you retain that and see that? I discovered Joe Mayo via the Talk More Talk show that now is defunct, and it's just things we said today. Yeah, I missed doing that show somewhat. The reason that I left Talk More Talk was because I was really busy with the movie channel, and then right around that time I was starting my 3rd channel, so I got 3 channels. and it was just a lot to do. But we had a lot of fun on that show. Imagine for a moment that Ringo had been just another struggling actor instead of an ex-Beatle in 1980 when he made Caveman. Do you think Barbara Bach would have looked at him twice or even once? Well, you'd have to ask Barbara Bach that. I don't know, but I think yes, probably. I'm sorry, but Barbara Bach was already an established actress on her own, so she already had her her position and her money. So yeah, I think so. Hello, Spring Hill Jim. What's going on? I'm glad you appreciated the laser discs. Yeah, same with me. I don't have a player, but if I see one that's nice enough, I was looking for the old classic Universal Monsters, the 30s and 40s. But ever been in a really good mood, and by the end of the day, you've made a rant video? Yeah, most days of my life. No. I couldn't resist. That was it. That was so enticing to say that. But yeah, I had days like that. Sure. I've been wearing glasses 10 years, ever since I got diabetes and my eyesight turned to crap. I think they suit me though, and couldn't imagine not wearing them now. Yeah, that's how I feel. And not only that, but I think the internet and the computer shot my eyes to crap. If you look back at the first videos I made, and today's a perfect day for it because it was 14 years ago today that I made my first videos. My first video, singular. I'm not wearing glasses then, and then gradually I needed them. I really think it was the computer, and these days the damn phone, because I'm on the phone all the time with the bright light in there. Always checking comments in the middle of everything I'm doing, and I believe that helped ruin the eye. I listened to the new Ringo album 3 times and started square dancing, so I stopped. Yeah, he's told me that. I don't know what that's. I don't think. Yeah, I know they say it's more country than Look Up. I don't think it's that country, but I don't think it entices square dancing. I pre-ordered 4 copies of the album so far. Will they be sent to me the day after release? I always think that these people should make it a point to ship things you buy out, so that you wind up getting it the day of release, not after release. Georgie Girl, framed Laserdisc copy. Looks great on the wall. See, that's right. Those Laserdiscs are suitable for framing, Jim. So absolutely. And Georgie Girl, I like the song, by the way. Have you ever watched any of the Laurel and Hardy films on the 2-year set? There are really some great extras on it. Great one. They're great. They're great. Great episodes on it, and they have extra features. Haven't gotten to all those. I got way too much stuff. You know it, way too much. But I've been watching Laurel and Hardy lately, though, with the talkies, because I've got the whatever they call them, the remastered or new ones. But I still don't like. I'm really upset, in fact, that they put them out in random order. The Laurel and Hardy talkie discs. They just put any old thing. I wanted them to do like they did with the DVD set, the essential Laurel and Hardy, or the essential films, where they put them all in chronological order. They should have done it that way. Will you be listening to Dungeon Lane 2 or 3 times without stopping for breath? No, I think I'll breathe in between tracks. Maybe I'll hold my breath for each song, and then I'll start breathing between the songs. Beatles, covered by Tel Aviv, Israel. I asked Mikey what his plans are for his collection. He said there's no plan and he's out of control. Tomorrow is Bob Dylan's birthday. Bob Dylan will be 85 tomorrow. 85. Bob Dylan. We had 1966 soccer memorabilia in a drawer that my father left us. We took it out of the drawer and gave it to the National Soccer Museum in the UK. It went from a drawer hidden away to a glass case display. I can't remember exactly when I first saw you, but I remember it was 2018. Very glad I did. Thank you, James. That's nice of you to say. I got glasses when I failed my driving test due to poor eyesight. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, I had laser eye surgery, cataract removal, that is, years ago, and I paid thousands extra to have my vision restored to 2020. I couldn't be happier with the results. Laser surgery is nothing to be afraid of. Well, I am afraid of it. I got to be honest with you. I think, but I think, Brian, that's fantastic. That sounds great. I mean, if imagine that. I mean, I can only imagine. Getting your eyes done and seeing perfectly, and not having to ever worry about glasses. That's fantastic. But I'm a little nervous. A laser going into my eye. I know many people have had it successfully done, but I do get nervous about it. I'll be honest. Jim Royal, hello. Thank you very much. 10 years. Thank you. I appreciate all that. That's very nice. All you people that, by the way, good time also again to say thank you for all my supporters out there. I appreciate it. And, us people who make videos, we can't make them if nobody wants to watch them. You know that. Glasses make you look smarter. Then what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Never saw the movie The Family Way, nor have I played the entire soundtrack. And I'm less likely to play the entire soundtrack now that I hear Paul McCartney really didn't do much of it, or it was mostly George Martin. Whatever. I like George Martin. I love George Martin's instrumentals usually. We look more distinguished with glasses, and it is better to be distinguished than to be extinguished. Good point. Hey, Joe, when John Lennon was a boy and someone asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, he would reply, happy. If this is true, words of wisdom for a little kid. Yeah. Laurel and Hardy's silent films on Flickr Alley sets are all in the order that they were made. Yeah, those are all in the order. I'm talking about the talkies. I want the talkies in order. Yeah. It pisses me off that they didn't do that. Instead, they just throw any old features mixed in with shorts and different years. Don't get me started. 14 years ago, it was 14 years ago today that Mayo told us what to play. He said, Pet Sounds is out of style, and the Beatles going to make you smile. May we introduce to you Joe, Mayo, and Donnie, too? Is it Donnie or Danny? I can't read that. MTV Mayos or Mr. Mayo's Motley Musical Band. That's a little mangled there, so...
Could you put that into words which even Caesar could understand?
There you go. Okay. What are the chances of me listening to Iron Maiden? Not on my will. You know what I mean? It's like life's too short for me to hear Iron Maiden if I have no desire. I know a lot of people like... It's like if I'm at a record store and somebody puts on Iron Maiden, I'll listen to it, but I'm not going to go out of my way. There's other things I'd rather listen to or do. I'm going to put this up here about soccer. I don't want to read this whole thing. See, it hurts the throat to read a lot of things, and if it's not Beatles related or important for me. Okay, Pele signed it. Okay, I remember hearing about Pele. Will you ever do a fan meetup? That would be nice. I wish if there was some way to do it. I always put everything off, and I say, yeah, maybe one day, right? I think other people are organizing fan meetups, but I can't get. There's one that I was kind of invited to. I won't talk about it much, but I can't make it. I remember. Oh, that was a great episode. Yeah. A King of Queens episode about laser eye surgery with a coupon from the Eye Barn. Yeah. It's an episode where, the husband, Kevin James Doug, wants to get a present for his wife. So he buys her the cheapest he can find a shit coupon, to a really low budget place to get her eye surgery done. And she winds up not being able to see. And she's afraid that she's blind and they botched the eye surgery. It takes a while. But by the end of the episode, everything's fine. But there you go. With different girlfriends, after a date, I'd put Laurel and Hardy on TV. If they didn't laugh, they were dumped. Oh my God, come on. No. I need your ranking of Sun King. I'll follow the sun. Here comes the sun and Good Day Sunshine. Oh boy. All right. I'll put Here Comes the Sun number one. Although if I was ranking these based on how tired I am of hearing them, it'd be near the bottom. But I put Here Comes the Sun number one. I'll put I'll Follow the Sun number two. I'll put Sun King number three, and dead last Good Day Sunshine. La-di-da, la-di-da. Joseph Mantaneo, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, Joseph. Thank you. Damn spell check. Me and Mr. Mayo's Motley Musical Gang. Do I go to church? I don't physically go to church. When I was a kid, I was there. I went to church when I was a kid. My grandparents brought us a lot. But I am a believer. And to me, in my opinion, the church is right here. You know what I mean? So I go to church. Occasionally, in my mind, I pray. I get in touch with my feelings. And, I say my feelings, with God, I pray here. So. Do I have a Dungeon Lane tea ready for the big day? I do not. And I was gonna order one, but I didn't. I should have. Good question. People say that the King of Queens is was a modern day Honeymooners, and I can get the feel out of it. Did you pre-order the Foreign Tongues album? If yes, which version? Well, that's the Rolling Stones' new album. No, I don't have to do that, because I have stores where I am where I could just go in and get the album there. And when it comes to the Stones, I'm going to get probably the CD. I don't know about the vinyl, but I'll get the CD for sure. And that's what I'll play, and I'll listen to it, because I love the last album, Hackney Diamonds. And maybe I don't think I'll get any other versions. Maybe if I get a vinyl, it'll be just the standard black vinyl. I know there's different covers that they're trying now. Folks, I'm gonna have to go now. Actually, I have to pick my girlfriend up, and we got some rainy weather around here, which kind of stinks. So thank you all for being here. One last question, because he said I was intelligent and articulate. Did I do well in school and exams? I generally did pretty well. I wasn't like straight A's or anything, but with me, it was when I applied myself. If I applied myself, did very well. If I just I didn't feel like it, I didn't do well. But that was okay. But anyway, so I want to remind everybody again, tomorrow, please be here live, because I'm going to be doing my Collectors Anonymous show. I'm going to have my special guest on there, and I'm going to open it up. Other people may come up. If people want to come up who are watching it, they're welcome to come up. And, so thank you, everybody. I appreciate it again. Thanks all of you for your support over the years. And looking forward, hopefully, to 15 years next May, and then beyond that and beyond that. So thank you all. Cheers.